Okay, so I'm a very average painter. I've always painted quickly to get army ready to go on the table. Never really tried to push my painting. To be honest, I get bored really quickly. I just always saw painting as a chore I have to complete to be able to play the game. I'm in awe of people who can hyper-focus, spend hours on a model, paint display quality. It's something I'd love to achieve, but I'm definitely not even close. I've recently moved country, and there's not many players in my area. I travel to Istanbul once every 2 to 3 months for a tournament, but in between those times, I don't have any games. So, I want to try and improve my painting. No flashy stuff at the moment. I am not very skilled, but I do have time to invest, so I'll do that. If I can sit down and focus on painting just one mini in a week rather than an army, what can I achieve? I've got a Slaves to Darkness model that I painted for an army. I also have a duplicate of that. So the model for the army took less than an hour. I'm thinking if I can spend a week painting that model, a couple of hours a day, so let's say around 10 hours, what will it look like? What can I achieve? I'll narrate over the video of the painting process. Try to avoid swearing too much. And talk about how I felt it went at the end. Is there hope for me as a painter? Let's see. Okay, so here are the two models, and then the model I'm painting in sub-assemblies with the Zenithal Prime. And then we move on to day one's painting. So here we go. So I started with the boots. Colours I used for these were Watercolours Black, Watercolours Ochre, Citadel Storm Vermin Fur, and Citadel Mornfang Brown. Just in mixes working up to ochre on the distressed leather. It's a recipe that I've adapted really from an article on Creative Twilight. So you can see here I'm just finishing off putting a few touches of ochre in, and then we should see the final boots. There they are, quite happy with them. And then we move on to the armour. So the armour is flayed one flesh, a little bit of ochre, a little bit of white. I wasn't happy with the results of this. I tried to go for kind of a bone style armour. It didn't really work for me. And yeah, just really quite unhappy with the results. I'm not sure why. I think maybe the colour I found it quite hard to paint, and I could never get the result I was looking for. Here I'm just washing it with a very diluted skeleton horde, just trying to get a little bit of colour into the recesses, and now I'm starting to layer that back up, and then I'll highlight it with the white afterwards. I will come back later on day 3 and add a little bit of gunginess and grunginess, trying to just get it to a place where I'm happy with. I never really achieved it, and if I was going to paint it again, I would definitely look to be doing the armour probably a different colour. So that's the end of day 1, ending on a lot of frustration. So day 2, move on to the cloak. Bottom part of the cloak I wanted to paint red, and the shawl, I guess, I wanted to do green, likely to play them either as Khorne or Nurgle, so it made sense. So first just a couple of glazes of Watercolour red over the zenithal highlight, and then I'll start putting in the highlights really kind of in a stippling cross-hatching style, as you can see there. Just trying to get a bit of the light values in there. That's kind of how he started to look. And from there, it's just more futzing, going up in colours to progressively lighter stipplings. In the end, I was quite happy with the cloak. So then start moving on, and then this will be the green starting now. started off with trying to glaze, but I've ballsed up the glaze to be fair, and it's very, very light, didn't really do anything. So I started like this, and then it took a long time to get it up to this colour. So this is how the cloak finished, the green cloak. Went from a dark green, Caliban green actually, up to green camo mixed with a bit of Flayed One Flesh. So the second part of day 2, just trying to get the base coats in on a few of the things. So you see he's fur tabard, and went in, just blocked out all of the metallics using Vallejo Dark Aluminium, because it's the only metallic I've got that I like. And then just putting in the haft of the mace, just a red wrap, and there you can see just base coats in, and then I'll start highlighting a few of the little bits. So yeah, just highlighting his gloves, I'll start highlighting the fur. It's all working up with Mournfan Brown and Ochre. I wanted to try and keep as few paints as possible during the project. I still ended up using 15 or 16 paints, which for me is a lot, but for some people it probably isn't. A lot of mixing in between colours. And I was quite happy with the way it was going actually with the highlighting. Still a bit bummed out about the armour. I'm not sure how it's really working. But I thought on the next day I'll get everything put together and then see what happens. So now it's just futzing. You can see that I've glued the sub-assemblies back in, just picking out the stitching, doing other bits and pieces, really just as the god Vinci V says, the kind of futzing and doing all the bejangles. So highlighting up the wrap. At this stage I think it's going okay. I feel like it's an improvement on my original one, but I'm still kind of a bit unsure. I'm just retouching up the highlights on the armour, basically trying to see where I can improve it. I'd really like some comments to tell me where I can push the model, to be honest, because sometimes I can't see and I get fed up and then just stop. So going back into the tabard again, highlighting again, lots of highlighting. It's very dull, I don't like it. I've always just kind of sketched out stuff, thrown an oil wash on it, be done. Grimdark, happy days. Now I'll start putting some kind of rust into the metallics. I used Dirty Down Rust for this. I love it. I think it comes out really nicely in the end. After I go through it, I'm unhappy with it a few times, go in, do other bits and pieces. I think on the finished model the rust looks good. I wanted my Chaos Warriors to kind of be, they've been years out in the, I don't know what you call it, fighting. There we go. They've been fighting for years. Still alive, keep on going. So here you can see I'm trying to do some bits with the armour, trying to darken down some bits, trying to weather it a little bit. Not happy how it came out, but this is then finished. I got bored. Surprise, surprise. This is around hour 7. I was like, do you know what? I just can't face it anymore. But I'll take some photos and I'll talk through that with me face in front of you in 2 seconds. So there we are, my very bad spinny of the models, and let's move on. I'll talk about how I found it and can I possibly try and improve. There's plenty of room for improvement, spoiler alert. But is it better than the previous one? This is what we're looking for at the moment, improvement. So, let's talk to you. So how do I think it went? I wasn't able to focus fully. Towards the end, I struggled. I couldn't see. I know there's a benefit. I couldn't see the benefit in what I was doing. I found it quite tough. But I did manage to spend, I think in total it was 7 to 8 hours on the model. I think it's definitely got more detail, more light, a little bit. Yeah, it's just a higher quality Mini. It's not the highest quality Mini. Do I think I could paint better? Yeah, I need to focus a bit more. I need to do some research. I need to look at videos and see how I can improve my painting. I've watched loads of Vinci, these hobby cheating videos. They really help. I think next time, instead of trying to improve my painting overall for a whole model, I should just pick a skill and work on that on a model, and then try and implement that. I'm very happy with the boots. I think the boots turned out very nicely. They do have that distressed black leather look. The armour I'm very unhappy with. I think maybe it's the wrong colour. I'm not sure. There's just something about it that I don't like. So that's something to work on for sure, is the armour. I'm relatively happy with the cloaks. I think I lost a bit of focus and ability to push through with elements of the shield and final highlight elements, things like that. So I'll put some pictures up while I'm talking, so hopefully you may have seen them, of the two side by side. Let me know if the extra few hours was worth spending on that model. And if you think, well, obviously I know you think I can improve because it's not the best paint job, where I can improve. What doesn't look right about the model, are there technique I can use to make this look better? Do I need to push to contrast? Do I need all of these terms I've seen on videos that I don't really understand? But hopefully, I can go and look at those and then learn a bit more and go through. So anyway, this is the end. I think it's a better level than my normal painting. Maybe next time I will try and pick another Slaves to Darkness model. I've got a unit of them that I need to paint, so maybe I can try and take kind of a step each time and improve a certain area. So it's something to think about for another video. But thank you for watching. If you managed to stave off your boredom for this long, and yeah, please do let me know where I can improve, because I really do want to improve. Okay, have a good day.